Hi, Catherine.
Good afternoon,
Afternoon.
Ben. Yeah, now, I'm a first-time caller. I don't portray to know everything about everything, so I can only go by my personal opinions on this. Now, I personally don't have an issue with legal immigration. So people that come here with useful skills, with our NHS, for instance, the doctors and the nurses that are overseas workers, I don't have an issue with that. People that come with the correct documents and can offer our country something. I do have an issue with illegal immigration, i.e. the people that are coming in the droves in dinghies. Now, I always say, if they were here for legitimate reasons, the money that they pay to get on a dinghy, I don't know, I've heard figures of in excess of £10,000 per person.
Yep.
Now, surely, if they are getting that sort of money together, would it not make more sense if they are above board, they've got nothing to hide, would it not make more sense for those to get their documentation in order, get the passports and everything?
Yeah, lots of them do. And then do what, Catherine, with their documents?
A lot. What, the ones that come over on the dinghies, or the ones? Well, I can only imagine that the sea between France and the south of England is absolutely snidered in passports.
Yeah, some of them throw them away. Loads of them have documents when they get here.
Right, so therefore the ones that have documents should be filtered through the correct manners, have all the background checks done, and then if they are here for legitimate, they don't have severe criminal records. I mean, I think a lot of people in this day and age, not saying everybody, but I think whether it be a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, people do have things that they've done that they shouldn't have done.
But you don't know what your neighbours have done, do you? You don't know what the people living in your community right now have done.
No, exactly.
So this point that comes up a lot, we don't know what crimes they've committed, that is also true of every single other person on your street. Unless you've gone door to door saying, can I see your DBS records, which most of us don't do.
I agree completely. But...
So why is this... Go on.
I was just going to say, a lot of the immigrants that are coming across seem to have a different set of laws for their country that are completely different to the laws in this country, that a lot of them don't necessarily understand the legal age of consent in this country.
What's this based on, Catherine?
This is based on listening to people, reading things.
Who? How many asylum seekers have you asked of their knowledge for the age of consent in this country?
Well, believe it or not, I live in quite a semi-rural area.
Yes.
I live in a very small town, and this particular place I've worked at for a few years now, and over those years I have noticed a significant increase in non-British delivery people.
Right.
Now, I don't know them from Adam. I feel...
Do you know the British ones?
It's hard to tell.
No, the British delivery drivers, do you know who they are and what their track record is and whether they know what the age of consent is?
That can go with anybody.
That's my point. You have no idea whether the person knocking on your door is or isn't a criminal, whether or not they're an asylum seeker or they grew up down the road.
The thing is, though, if these people coming on dinghies have got nothing to hide, why aren't they coming over legitimately on an aeroplane with documents?
Because they can't, Catherine.
Why?
There are no legal routes because the government bans them from doing so. You cannot get on a plane in Kabul or Khartoum or wherever it may be and say, I'm just jetting off to the UK. You have to have permission to come here. And we don't give people permission to come here and claim asylum until they're already here.
Exactly. Now, why are we denying these people?
Why are we...
Why are we denying these people coming in the country?
Because we say to claim asylum in Britain, you have to reach Britain first. That's why they can't just get on a plane. There's no legal routes unless you're already here.
I don't know a lot. I mean, I don't portray to know a lot. All I can tell you is my opinion.
But Catherine, it has to be, respectfully, it has to be an informed opinion. And the fact that you think people can just get on a plane wherever they are in the world and come to the UK and say, right, thank you, British Airways, let me on your plane because I'm heading to Heathrow where I'm going to claim asylum. That is so far from the reality of the immigration system that we have. And there is this misconception. If they're coming on boats, they must be jumping the queue or they must have something to hide, to use your phrase. No, that's the rules that we've put in place for people wanting to come here and claim that they're refugees. That is the government policy. There's no alternative for them.
Let's talk to Del, who's in Kensington, who's got something to say. Del, good morning.
All right, Lewis. Lewis, why can't you put one up?
Why can't I put one up in my own home?
Yeah, why not? All these people, all you, Lineker,
Right.
Mandelson,
Right.
Cameron, all got these houses renting out. Why don't you put one up?
Well,
We'll soon get round it. There's a lot of people who want them in, who say, let them in, welcome. Put them up, and then we see the goodwill.
right, so Del, so what you're saying is that the choice that someone who is simply asking a question, I haven't really said what I think about it, I'm just asking the question about where they're going to go. You're saying that the choice is that either they are in my home or they're on the street. Is that the policy outcome that you're really suggesting?
Oh, yeah, why don't you
Right.
put them up? You're
Okay.
all for
You're
them.
right,
All
it's-
these people who say
You're
they're
right.
welcome.
You're right.
You're
Yeah,
Lineker.
it's on me. You're right. It's on
You've
me.
got Cameron.
So-
You've
so-
got Cameron.
so
he
Del-
rents his house out up Notting Hill.
So Del,
Why can't he let them in it?
So Del, me thinking that like there shouldn't be, in an ideal world, there shouldn't be homelessness. It's therefore on me to take on all the homeless people in my
Agreed.
own home, is it?
No, not the homeless people.
Oh,
These
well, there we
poor
go. But it's
refugees.
exactly the same principle. It's exactly the same principle.
not the same
I'm against
principle.
something.
Look,
Yes, it is. Okay, so let's say I think there should be an extra school in my street. Is it incumbent upon me to run the school myself?
Would you be capable of it?
Well, maybe. I don't know. But my point is this. So you're basically saying
Look,
that if you've got
talking the truth.
no, if you're basically
I'm telling the
you're
truth.
basically saying you're basically saying that if one person has a political view about something, if it's basically up to you to do it yourself. If I want a hospital in my street, it's up to me to get the hospital myself, is it?
No, don't, Lewis. See, look, now you're going away for it, and you're going with a different analogy
Different what?
to go take it all. Don't look. You're trying to make me look small.
I'm not.
The fact of it is,
I'm
the
trying to
fact of
ask
it
you.
is, you got the likes of you. You got the Linekers of this world. You got the Camerons, right?
I believe that
Little
Lineker did
Cameron.
actually. I believe Lineker actually took in a refugee. Actually, did take someone in, as a matter of
For how
fact.
long? For how
I
long?
don't know. I've no.
For how
I'd have to
long?
ask him. I think it was
I've
over a
recently
year.
said He's got 6 bedrooms. Yeah, it was 6 bedrooms. He's got.
Dal, all I'm
Come
saying,
on.
Dal, honestly, this is a really simple question, right? And let's be real here, right? Let's be real.
Go on, then.
Let's be real. My question to you is, where do you think... Like, look, we can all agree that in an ideal world, these people would not be here. We can all agree with that. We've got limited resources. It's really tough. It's really difficult, right? We can all agree that. But the fact is that while they're being processed, they do have to have somewhere to go. And my simple question to you is where you think they should go in a realistic way, if it's not hotels. And not my back bedroom.
Back to where they come from.
Yeah, but what do you do?
You've got that one on TikTok. He was in Germany. Put it on TikTok. He's over in 2 days. They trace him in Germany. He's got sacked from his job because he's lazy. And next thing he's sitting in a hotel here.
Yeah, but Dal,
come off it.
But Dal,
now.
yeah, but Dal,
Come off
I know,
it.
I hear what you're saying, Dal, genuinely. But I'm just the difficulty is that it's all very well saying where they came from. But for example, let's say someone comes from Afghanistan. We don't have a returns
Back they
agreement
go.
with that. No, you
worry
can't
about
just say that. What do you mean? What do you mean? We can't just say that. We can't
Lewis.
fly people in. We can't fly people in.
Lewis.
We don't have a returns agreement. What are you going to do? Parachute them in? Airdrop them in? What are you going to do? Seriously,
Right.
how do you take someone back
no
to
more
Afghanistan?
Flights. You take no more flights from Afghanistan.
They're not coming in
Pakistan
from.
and all that.
They're not coming in on flights. They're
take-
coming on boats.
No, you take more. You don't have no more dealings with them.
There
unless
are
they
no
take them
direct
back.
flights from Kabul to London. So that's gone. So let's say that.
Look, they're not all Afghanistanis. You take it from me.
No,
right?
no,
They
they're
go
not, but there's a
back. You
huge
just
number.
put them-
Afghanistan is just an example, Del. I'm just saying, when you don't have a returns agreement, it's all very well to say, just send them back. That's very simple. They would do if they could. They can't. So my question to you is,
Can I just say one
where
thing,
do you put...
Lewis,
Please do,
right?
please do, Del.
Can I give you one answer? I'll
Please,
give you
go
one
on. No,
question
please
to
do.
you. Tell me why they get asylum here from these countries, right? And I know it. I work in the building,
Yeah.
right? You tell me why they get asylum, and as soon as they get asylum, I know Eritreans, right, who's gone back for 6 weeks holiday.
Right. Well, I mean,
how can you be running away from all this and then they go back for holiday?
you will accept, though, Dal, that there will be people who have genuine need of asylum.
I'll tell you how many of them are in genuine need of asylum. You'd be lucky to get 1 in 100.
And on what basis do you say that, Dal?
Yeah, Lewis.
No,
I'm a Londoner. I've been round the place all my life, right? I work in the building. I see it. I've got 2 eyes in my head, and I see it and I hear things.
but I'm just saying.
I hear things. If you heard it.
All right, well, I hear things as well. I hear that there are people in genuine need of asylum. Where does that get us? We can all say I hear things.
I just look. Do you run off? Are you married, Lewis?
I am, yes.
Do you run up and leave the family at home and go and get on a boat and go somewhere, run through about a dozen countries and go somewhere, put it on a boat and go over onto there? Leave the wife and kids at home. That don't matter.
Why would I do that?
Eh? Well, this is what they're doing, aren't they?
Yeah,
Where's the kids? Where's the women?
But I don't live in a country that's in civil war, yet at least.
Yeah. It's the ruination of this country. The ruination. I've seen it. I'm just coming to the end of my time, right? I ain't got a long left. I'm an old 66, right?
Oh, don't say that, Dal. You've got plenty of time. 66,
no,
that's not an old man.
Fact. Look, it's fact, right? And what's being left for the kids, I hold my breath. I feel sorry for them. I look at them and I feel sorry for them.
Well, look, Dal.
And on that,
all right, Dal.
Well, see you later on, Lewis.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, Dal, and I appreciate the spirited and I hope respectful conversation on both sides. Dal there, I do understand why people are so annoyed. I do understand why people are annoyed. I really do. And I think something has got to be done, clearly, because it is undermining. It's not good for the genuine asylum seekers, and it's not good for the immigration system. It's not good for people's sense of control. It's not good for people's sense of cohesion. So maybe we do have to think really radically about what we do, but it doesn't to try and stop people coming. But I would be up to, you know what, like, and the window's moved in my own thinking on this. The ECHR, European Convention on Human Rights, I think that we shouldn't withdraw from it unilaterally, but there are a lot of countries out there. Maybe the asylum legal architecture does have to be reviewed. It was written in the 1940s. Maybe it does need to be reviewed. Let's do that with other countries and change some of the legal framework around this. That could be a perfectly good solution to this, or at least part of the thinking. Totally up for that. But it does not change the fact that we need somewhere to put these people now, today, tomorrow, next week. And I still haven't really heard from anyone.
Rudy's in Bristol. Hi, Rudy.
I'd like to make 3 points.
Sir.
One is with Kate Marsh. First of all, she's wrong. They should be detained, especially if they've got no identification. And B, they are criminals because they've entered the country illegally. So that makes them a criminal.
Well,
and if they're prepared to do that, they're prepared to go to any other measures of breaking the law when they are here.
Rudy, it isn't illegal to apply for asylum.
But it's illegal to enter a country illegally. And
just let me finish this. It isn't illegal to apply for asylum. In order to apply for asylum for the UK, primarily you have to get to the UK. So the only way in which you can be adjudged to have arrived illegally is if your asylum claim fails. And the problem is it just takes too long. Now, the last Conservative government did bring in legislation that said if you arrive by boat, you've entered illegally, whatever your circumstances. That was repealed by Labour.
But I would say in that they have no right to seek asylum in this country because they are already in a safe country in France.
Well, then you get,
and if they have family here, like they use that excuse, then they can apply in the normal way.
Well, there is no normal way to apply.
Well, they can do it then they should put a portal on the internet where they can submit their application with all their stuff, like you would a claim for benefits or whatever, and they could do it that way.
Well, now you're talking about setting up safe and legal routes. That's what you're talking about doing.
Why would you need a safe and legal route if they're already in a safe country? And make the claim from that country?
Because if you've got a legitimate claim of asylum in Britain, you'd presumably want to get that tested. If you've got family in Britain.
But Tom, if it's a legitimate claim, then why are they destroying their documents? If it's legitimate, they have no reason to destroy their documents.
I agree with you. That's why you should put those people who don't have documents into some form of accommodation that is secure, I think.
So therefore, Tom, if they have no documents, we can immediately reject them and say, I'm terribly sorry, because you've got no documents, we cannot process your claim.
I would agree with that. I think that's reasonable, yeah. The problem is then where do you send them to?
Go back to France. Send them back to France.
Well, that's where you need a returns agreement with France, and that's been part of the problem, as you know, really. Look, I totally... It's unbelievably and unfairly complicated, this. And it pits the rights of individual nations against the rights of various individuals. It's very, very difficult. But obviously the current status quo is cannot continue, is completely maddening and needs to change. And so there will be, I guess, some people relieved about the fact that this one hotel in Epping now cannot be used, and maybe there will be more court cases about hotels in the future that can't be used. The problem is, where do people go? Still got to go somewhere.
Afternoon, Seamus.
Ben, good afternoon. Well done on your call with the American guy. I thought you handled it really well.
Thank you, Seamus.
The point I wanted to make was that the lady that you had on talking about immigration a couple of calls ago automatically reverts to the statement that anyone that's got a concern is obviously racist. Now, I don't consider myself racist. I don't mix with anyone who's racist. I don't know anyone who's racist. I just don't. It's not the way in which my community operates. I live in a mixed cultural community.
Yep.
But where we have objections is, and I think you're a bit disingenuous with respect, Ben, your comment about people who come across on dinghies have documents. No, they don't. I can tell you for a fact I deal with... No, they don't. The vast majority of people who come across on the dinghies are advised by the people putting them on the dinghies to get rid of all of their paperwork. I deal with UKBA on a regular basis. I also have a member of my family who works in an IRC, an immigration removal centre. Now, if your first engagement with this country is to enter it illegally, you have to be designated as a criminal. You then, in my opinion, you throw aside all rights in this country to claim asylum. It's not asylum anyway. The vast majority of them are economic migrants.
It's not true, Seamus.
And
66.
No, it is true.
Seamus, it's not. 60+% of them, of people who arrived in Britain on small boats last year, were granted asylum status. They were found to have valid claims for asylum. So it's simply not a fact to say most of them are not legitimate asylum seekers, because eventually, once they're claimed are processed, the Home Office takes a different view. It determines that 2/3 of them are legitimate asylum seekers.
Ben, the problem we have now in this country is that ordinary people no longer believe any government, anything they're telling us about immigration.
Yeah, because people have been told it's all this big conspiracy and they're all coming here to invade and impose Sharia law and all this other nonsense that's been whipped up.
I don't accept that. We have not been told the true numbers. We've been lied to by successive governments. I'll give you the example of the Afghan numbers, where there were over 4,500. We were told there were about 200-300.
Well, how did we find that out?
Essex Council, the reason they went to... The government aren't even talking to local authorities about the numbers. They're just placing them. Yeah. And these councils do not have the infrastructure.
Why don't you want to live near these people? Why are you so fearful of living near someone?
I do.
What's the issue with
I live in Croydon.
Does it bother you?
I'm a first-generation immigrant, so I believe in immigration and the power of it. But your relationship with this country has got to be one of respect.
All right, Seamus, I've got to leave it there. We're moving on. Thank you very much indeed for wrapping up our conversation about asylum hotels. I fear one we will end up coming back to. And